Welcome back to the Love You Sew YouTube channel. We are going through and making some bias tape today. So I'm going to take you through how to make the nicest bias tape in order to finish your bags. Here is the Irene crossbody, which has one side of the bag finished with the most minimal amount of bias tape. And you can see that it is a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but we are actually going to make 3/8 inch bias tape just to account for all of the thickness. If you need to make a different width of bias tape, don't worry, this process is all the same. The first thing you are going to need is some woven fabric. I am using designer quilt cotton, and you just want to make sure that your selvages are straight and that the length and the width, your warp and your weft threads are running up and down, left and right. So right now you will see that I am folding 1/4 of the fabric at a 45-degree angle, and that is going to give you the bias. So it's going to run diagonally across all of those fibers that make up the fabric. Then grab your ruler and your rotary cutter to cut off just the edge of that fold. So then you will have two separate pieces of fabric. Grab one side, and I don't need a ton of bias tape for this particular pattern, and I'm going to cut it at 1 1/2 inches. That is because I need 3/8 inch bias tape. So you take 3/8 inch, multiply it by 4, and that will give you the width that you need. And you can use that same calculation for any width. I'm obviously, my rotary cutter needs a new blade and it didn't cut through everything. So I'm just going back through and making sure that I have a nice straight edge to this bias tape. Now, if you hold each short end, you are going to realize that now you have a little bit of stretch, which is going to be exactly what you need to finish binding in a bag. So I'm going through and folding each long side in half, and then I'm going to fold it in toward the center and iron again for a double fold bias tape. If you have a 3/8 inch bias tape maker, you can use it to finish all of the pressing, but I happen to not have one out of the 3 that I own. So I'm going to show you a quick and dirty way to make one out of just some pins. You can see I'm working with a thick wool ironing surface, but you can also do this on any ironing board that has a cushion. What you'll do is take 2 long pins. These are quilt style pins that are a little bit thicker than your normal dressing pins. So you will cross them at basically a 45-degree angle, and that will make the 3/4 inch space that you need to make this bias tape. So with your iron down, you can basically pull your bias tape through, and that will create that double fold. It's kind of difficult. You can see I'm struggling a little bit, but you can also leave your iron down several seconds at a time and then pull your bias tape with your right hand while using your left hand to kind of help guide it underneath those pins. This is making it look much more difficult than it really is, but you get the gist and the idea of it. Once you are finished, you make sure that you fold those edges back to meet each other so that you have your full double fold bias tape. Happy sewing, and I will see you next time.